Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to BattleTech Heavy Metal. We are about to test the power of these fully armed and operational, ridiculously powerful mechs on some enemies that are maybe not, it doesn't feel like a fair fight, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm gonna drop like 400 tons of garbage on a mid-level Capellan official. But before we do it, let's actually go look at our new toys. Now that they're fully built here. Check out this Marauder. Look at this monstrosity. I love the way that the weapons are actually reflected on the bodies. Look at how extremely goofy that thing looks. I mean, it's cool as hell. I'm very excited to use it. Really interested to see what Lance Command mod actually means, what the plus called shot actually means numerically. We have our Warhammer here. It's just like lasers everywhere. It's not actually that many lasers in practice, because like the snub PPC doesn't really look like much until you see it in action. Then of course you got your King Crab. Everybody knows what this looks like, but he's still just a total delight to have around. There's his that's the right torso, so that's the UAC, double-barreled AC-20. It's actually, I don't even really see the, I guess, okay, that it'd be easier to see if we were above him, but there's like a battery up there that fires the LB-20X. And then I guess the Phoenix Hawk is coming into battle with us, or we could wait 5 days on the Rifleman, but that feels like overkill. We'll take the Hunchback or so, I don't know. Whatever. Let's get in here and do the job. These people paid us to come to their planet and blow some stuff up. Let's do it. We're not killing the mid-level Capellan official. We're protecting, I don't know. Whatever. We'll get in here. Here's the thing about the IFF transponder. The enemies are painted red on the HUD. You don't need to know what you're doing at all. It's completely foolproof. Apparently, we're not going to get to even bring a fourth mech. We're just going to jam in the 3 awesome mechs. We're going to way overpower this mission on purpose. We're just going to really enjoy ourselves. I think probably we should run less talented pilots in everything except for our Marauder. I want to see the full power of this thing. So we're going to throw crews in there, I think. How's the heat efficiency on this? It's bad, is what I'm seeing. It's only plus 18. It's not so bad. It doesn't have any heat sinks, though. So in a mission like this, a polar mission, it's not such a big deal. But, yeah, you guys, let's see. Let's get Steam Fitter in one of these and Trampoline in the other one. Uncrackable is going to have to rest for a bit. Steam Fitter in you and Trampoline in you. That gives us sensor locks in the... Okay, yeah, that seems fine. Let's deploy. I'm overthinking it. It's a 2.5 skull mission. It's not going to be that hard. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Blow up the ones that it says are enemies? Listen, if they gave me any other verbs in the game, if I sometimes had to talk to people, if there was negotiation or anything, you know, maybe I'd be a little bit more inclined to think we got to read that mission briefing. Fact is, like I said, the IFF is going to paint them red, and then we're going to paint them dead. That sounded cooler before I said it. When I was thinking about it in my head, I was like, everybody loves it when you rhyme. Now that I hear it out loud, I think that maybe actually people specifically don't like it when you rhyme. That might be feedback that I've received before. On one hand, a Griffin is a tough mech, says Darius, given the kinds of enemies we're likely to run into out here. They're going to be real surprised by what the rest of the Lance looks like then. I am positively giddy, I don't know if it's coming across, at how much robot we're about to be able to bring to bear. And granted, that's going to be really fun the first 1 or 2 times. Then it's going to be like, you know, running these missions while we're so overpowered is maybe not even interesting enough to put on camera. But, yeah, let's have fun with it the one time when it's fun. I suspect this will be a waste of your time, Commander. I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself. Well, we're being paid to accompany you. If there's no fighting, we got paid to stretch our legs and take in the sights. Hey, XO, I've got multiple blips here. Looks like Davian livery. Is that livery? Livery? It's one of those words I've never heard anybody say out loud. In that case, Commander, we're weapons hot. Keep that VIP alive. We'll see. We'll see. It's not my first priority. She's going to shout into the comms, we do turn off the radios, right?
This snow reminds me of my childhood. I hated my childhood.
She really wants to be as cool as we are, and it's just not going to happen. I feel so bad for her. So, Cruise is real fast.
Yes,
it's worth noting that I don't think the Marauder is as fast as the Warhammer is. But because we have Cruise in it, we have that bonus sprint speed from Cruise's very high stats. So it's probably going to be able to move forward most of the time right now. Or move further most of the time right now.
You betcha.
What kind of reading are we getting on that? 25.
I hear ya.
Wow. No kidding. A Griffin really is tough compared to the kinds of enemies we're going to see out
On my
here.
way.
Alright, you just... Oof. It's the default build of the Griffin 1N as well, which is just not very
I'll do what
exciting.
I can.
Alright, tracking an inbound blip, coming in fast and low like they're making a drop-off. Well, that could be a third force. It could be backup for the Davian scouts. Something tells me we'll be alright either way. For real though, who designed this Griffin 1N loadout? Were you Alpha Strike for like 70 damage?
Yeah?
You're like a tiny child. I mean, go ahead and fire your weapons. I know this is what you really paid for. May as well peel a point of evasion off of this thing before the real mechs get involved.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Alright, let's see about this Marauder.
You betcha.
So show me Precision Strike. 35%? Are you kidding? Jesus, look at that. We really can just peel anything we want. I mean, shooting for the head here. This thing's armor is not even completely intact. It only has 46 head health, so 46 is an unfortunate number, though. It is just 1 point above all of our weapon systems. I mean, we just core it, right? I don't care about this thing. Get out of here. That feels like cheating. When we get, like, a plus damage AC 10 into this... yeah, that feels really unfair. I mean, I'm down with it, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
You have orders?
Let's have Steamfitter... So there's 2 more mechs in that lance. Let's have Steamfitter run up this way, I guess. We can come around on those guys that way. Maybe I want to keep Steamfitter down on the ground, because this mech runs pretty hot. If we stay on the ice, we might have a better chance of dealing with them. Oh, it turns out the other 2 are over here anyway. Hey, what is that? That's a little taller. Okay, that's a grasshopper. That's like a real enemy. Remember that we are,
What can I do for you?
we are 0 priority salvage. We took this mission entirely as cash. So it doesn't make a huge amount of sense for us to try to, like, preserve any pieces of the enemies here. We're just gonna get kills as efficiently as possible. And in fact, firing it all there was kind of not a good idea. Okay, pirates. They landed right on top of that guy, so he's about to have a rough day. Commander, keep that VIP safe. These new targets are not part of the mission objectives. Things are about to get pretty wild over here, I think. Or maybe they're not going to shoot at each other. It kind of looks like they have no intention of shooting at each other. Well, good news for us is that the VIP's mech is outfitted for crummy long-range combat. Also, sorry to besmirch your name, I see you actually Alpha Strike for 90 damage. That's far more impressive. Yeah, it's just the trade-offs you make for a traditional PPC in terms of weight and heat generation, I don't think... The damage ratio on all of the stuff is bad, and then I don't think the stability damage that it does necessarily makes up for it. The sensor debuff definitely helps, but I don't know if it's enough.
I read you, Commander.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna precision strike every single turn with this thing. Do we just knock it over? Its leg is so much structure. Let's just drill that arm, or that torso section.
Roger that. Firing on target. Yeah, critical hit.
19.
Awaiting
Alright.
orders.
Pretty good. Can I just hit him with the full... Yeah, I can hit him with the full-ish.
As you wish.
And this keeps me in cover from most of the enemies.
Locking on target. Reporting. Critical hit.
Alright, so he's got some decisions to make about life. He has made them wrong. Far be it from me to criticize another person's situation,
I hear ya.
but that's the wrong way to live, my friend. And now... I mean, listen, maybe I don't get what he's going for. Maybe what he was trying to do is die.
Mess him up.
In that case, he's making fine decisions. He's gonna get there. He's gonna get cored by, like, 25 tonners. It turns out that huge amount of armor that grasshoppers are known for, somewhat insufficient to deal with our mechs. My inclination is to maybe stop shooting at him, because I think he's going to be dead before his turn comes around, and we have a lot more shots on him before then anyway. So they have a 1S, which is definitely a better Griffin, and they also have a Phoenix Hawk, which is... I mean, all of these mechs are fine at best.
Confirmed.
Gotta get a clean shot here. Actually made my shot worse with the PPC somehow. I don't know how I managed that.
Targeting unknown.
Oh, the other mech in there lances a cicada. That's a pretty... See, like, I think that's a cool thing, that they're in a situation where they have the one good mech. And there's a cool in-world justification for that, right? They have the one good mech, and then they're scraping together just whatever other garbage they can find to run alongside it. I wish that the career mode mechanics were a little bit better at generating that situation for you. It's been better this time. Like, the fact that it taking more mech parts to generate a full functional version of a mech, I think has been pretty successful in giving us more of the pacing that we needed for the campaign to really make sense. Can I just core him out? No, I cannot. Not with this much damage. But I could remove probably pretty much any body part I want. He has 49 head health. I mean, we could just go for it and hope. No, I think we'll hit this leg. We can work this leg.
Here we go. When
Oh,
I
only
shoot
2 of the
you,
shots
you'll
went.
take it and like it.
What's the plan?
That's fine. I think we can probably finish the job, though. I want you to... I mean, I sort of want to jump in. No, I don't want to jump in. Well, I don't want to jump in that close. So you can jump into here. I'm a little worried about heat, obviously. Although we have a ton of heat sinks, which means that the cold weather actually does reduce our heat output by a huge amount. But I guess this is like the smart move, right? This is the move you make if you're not totally suicidal. You may as well jump it for the extra point of evasion. Yeah, heat's not really going to be a problem. And then we're firing into the damaged quadrant. Do I want a precision strike? Now, you know, with the snubs and everything, I'm confident we'll accidentally hit the bottom there.
As you wish.
Okay, we sheared the entire left half off of that mech. As far as shows of force go, this one's going alright.
Waiting on you, Commander.
And destroying these pirate forces being an extra objective is really, really lovely.
Uh-huh.
So that means we're going to get a percentage pay bonus on top of our already very large amount of pay. So we just drill straight through the torso. Like, from this angle, hitting the center is going to be rough. But if we try to take his leg, if we succeed in taking his leg, then he's real easy pickings.
This should be good.
Yeah, mechs that are knocked down against a Marauder are basically completely doomed, right? Especially if we can get close enough to use the other lasers. I did not imagine that the improved called shot efficiency was going to be anywhere near that high. Ow! Right in the face.
Major armor loss.
That right there is why we put on the injury reduction cockpit. Man, they are really focused.
Internal structure damage.
Yeah?
Well, that's a lot of evasion. It's almost like they've completely forgotten that they have another problem right behind them, like they've just shown their backs to the cicada. The cicada is such a joke that, that they don't care, I guess. So let's see, even if you hit with absolutely all of your damage center, you still would leave that guy at 2 HP. What a bad mech design. Just really horrible. I guess let's go ahead and shoot you at this guy.
I'm taking this shot.
Okay, well, we got the arm. That's good enough. Alright, this Griffin, boy, I was going to say has some decisions to make, but apparently he doesn't feel that he does.
What can I do for you?
He's cool to go again right now. Well, that's alright. We'll just do the same thing here. Do I want to bring down the Phoenix Hawk before it gets a turn, or do I want to try to blow up one of these small mechs that's going to continue to be a huge pain in the ass? I probably want to... Like, the Marauder's going to be pretty good at picking off the small mechs because of all the extra hit percentage that we're going to get. So maybe what I want to do is jump up here. The thing is, I really want to turn my damaged... to my left side. I want to turn my damaged left side away. I guess I could do it like this. Don't want to make it too easy for them to get a hit on the back armor, but this is probably fine. Now we're in cover with 3 points of evasion, and let's gut this guy if we can. Actually, probably going to be easier to just go through the leg, even though your aim is not so good.
He's going down.
Okay, that'll work.
Solid connection on that one.
Blow up the side torso, do a bunch of center damage. Oof. Almost. You gotta give them this. They really, they stick to the job.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Well, they kind of stick to the job. The job was actually to kill the VIP. They have completely given up on that. So we have 85s on the Jenner, and the Jenner is definitely the more dangerous of these two anyway. We could just try to shred the left torso. It does not have enough center torso health to survive a volley. Can I get close enough for the lasers to be active? Yeah. It makes the AC5s less good, though? Is that just obstruction? Yeah. I can retarget a little bit here, reorient, and make this work a little bit better. Seems pretty alright.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
I can already
What can I
tell,
do
though,
for you?
the amount of trouble we're going to have dealing with these mechs in hotter climates. Let's see, there's no sense at all in shooting at the spider. I think we run up to... I mean, I'd love to get a point of evasion. Why not?
I read you, Commander. Moving
And I'm
out.
just going to shoot at this guy. We'll turn off the UAC.
Got it.
Let's hit him hard.
Okay, the spider remembered what its job was. That's nice of it. I was kind of hoping that it might.
What do you need?
Because right now we're at an amount of structure damage that doesn't bother me at all. Right, like I feel no hesitation whatsoever. Just putting the Warhammer back into commission. But if we were to take very much more, I would have to think about it. We have 65. You know what? This is worth a precision strike. Let's try to make sure something gets through to the center. It doesn't even need to be very many missiles. Okay. I was going to say, if the PPC misses, but we just get a couple missiles in there, we're at least rolling against that machine gun ammo bin. Okay, not exactly stellar shooting.
Careful. They're looping around back.
Yeah, that's part of why I moved the crab up that way. Figured
I hear ya.
shots to the back armor wouldn't really matter. And now we can have you run around and shoot this guy in the back armor while benefiting from all of this ice. And is it just straight through the center? He's got... Yeah, I mean, if things mostly hit, this is just a kill. We could even have missed one of the ACs there and still been fine.
Reporting.
And you have made a critical error, my friend. That's 120 extra damage on top of that 100 damage punch. That's pretty alright.
I hear ya.
I mean, I'll give him this. He's alive. You cannot say that we killed him. It would be dishonest. So do I want to... Who am I more worried about? This guy doesn't have much of a shot, but he is on the Warhammer's left side now. Yeah, I guess I'm more worried about that guy. Let's move forward. We'll turn like this. We'll just have at him with what we can have at him with, which is probably not going to include the UAC unless I turn off... No, I gotta turn off most of the other weapons. You know, it's probably worth it.
Roger that. Firing on target. There's more where that came from.
Show me your war.
So does that pull one of his lasers? Yeah. He's very, very low on damage now. I mean, the cicada is always bad on damage, but now it's really bad. How much does this pilot want to survive? It should be totally clear to him at this point that there is no escape through battle. There is, in this place, no room for glory. But no, you run around to the back armor, which is in considerably better shape than the front armor. Alright, you hold on. We have some vengeance to claim here. I did not say that you were allowed to do that.
Locked on for physical attack.
I like the big two-armed sweep attack it does because its arms are not built for punching, like, at all.
That would be a kill.
Basically, do not want to directly hit the enemy with your lasers because that's not good for the laser. Let's see if you can get one. I mean, you know what? We gave the VIP a kill already. This is probably, I'm guessing that we were like 75% hired here for them to be able to have this experience.
The last primary target is down, Commander.
They get to blow somebody up while driving a giant robot, which is what they were really looking for, and we provided in spades. It also took a very small amount of structure damage. Because it turns out, the way I've built the Warhammer, it's not that much tougher than a Griffin. It's like very marginally tougher than a Griffin. Yeah, 25% contract increase. Lovely. That worked out alright. How much damage is that? 6. I feel fine rolling the hard light back into battle with 6 health off. Got ourselves a bit of a spider carcass. Okay. I'll take it. If I had known there was going to be a grasshopper on the mission, I might have made different choices. That's fine. I'm confident it won't be the last grasshopper we see. If we're very lucky, maybe it won't be the last grasshopper that we see on this planet. I don't know where they build them. It's probably not out here. But it's reasonable to think that more than one of them could have found its way here. So yeah, I think let's just keep rolling, right? Like, what's the next most valuable thing? We have a little bit of spending cash now, so we probably don't have to go too deep on money. This is a base defense. We have a centralized supply depot here in Borden, located to support multiple fronts of hostile action. With so many troops elsewhere, we're looking for a lance of mercs to babysit the outpost. Okay. I think we can probably do that. This is against the local pirate organization. Right now we're at -32, so a 6-point loss does not drop us. I think we probably don't... Let's take it at 2-8. I don't think I want to go all the way down to 0 salvage, because again, like a grasshopper could appear or something. And we don't need the full money, but I don't think we're going to see a ton of good salvage here. And I think we're going to run... With multiple small enemies, the mortar might be exactly what we're looking for, actually. Also, it's just fun to use. And then, who do we want to bring on this one? So we have a sense now of what the hoplite actually does. It's great. Hold on, let me swap these around here, because I want the slower mechs over to the right. I still think we would like to have Trampoline and Steamfitter in here, although I don't know if they're on the right mechs. I think probably Returned drives the Hardlight. We keep Cruise in the Hoplite, because that's ridiculously effective. And then we do it like this, so these two have their link at least. We don't have any non-direct fire weapons outside of the mortar, which is a little awkward. Like, it would be nice to have an LRM somewhere in this lineup. This is not a good permanent lineup. Obviously, we have lots of other stuff in the build. This will do fine for now. This will work for the moment. And if we lose the hard light's left arm, it's not a big deal. It's just a medium laser. I think I might have reordered the armor on that thing a little bit. I might have like moved some armor up from the legs to the torso, but I did not up the armor on the arms at all. Because I really wanted to fortify the torso, because that's where our very valuable particle cannons are. So unfortunately, the arms are just a little on the soft side, as they are in the base design. Commander, while there's a lot of fighting in the region, the supply depot is well behind the current front lines. I can't help but be suspicious about their no intel claim. Yeah, it does seem odd for them to be willing to throw up 1 million C-bills to have somebody defend a base that has no reason to be attacked. Or that they have no belief will be attacked. But that's fine, our employers lie to us all the time, it's just part of the job, right? I'd be leery of doing it myself. Like, I get it's a negotiating tactic, you're talking about large sums of money, every little bit you can save is a big deal, but also the people you're hiring are professional murderers with maybe the best possible tools for murdering? Well, this isn't much of a facility, Commander. I'm not sure what our employers were expecting. Scratch that. Orbital imagery is showing multiple incoming hostile contacts. There are a lot of them. This is going to get exciting. Exciting is a word that is used when I am about to have a really hard time, usually. The good news is we're not terribly ammo limited on anything other than the Thumper. The Marauder goes through a lot of ammo, but it has enough bullets for 15 full volleys, and then it still does have some lasers for after that. We'll just have to be a little bit more careful. Yeah, this defend all the buildings thing is going to be a real problem for us, because we're not even going to get over here and start shooting at them until after they get to launch a full volley against us. There's not really a ton of reason for you to go first. $122 left.
I hear ya.
Okay, well they don't have too many vehicles going, or too many mechs going right away. Now that we have returned out here, we can afford to be a little bit more aggressive with the jump, which means that we can survive a little bit better. It looks like there's not a lot of sources of cover around here, not in the areas we're going to be fighting in anyway. I think I'm going to make this jump and take the awkward shot. Ooh, wow, that's really bad. Okay, maybe I'm just going to fire a single medium laser. Because all we're really doing here is removing evasion. We're just going to try to make this a little bit easier for crews to hit it, because nobody else is going to be able to hit it. And I mean, we have sensor lock on some people.
I hear ya.
Also, the mortar is evasion proof. I don't have anywhere that I can hit him from? I guess not. The building's in a really awkward position. I could get up on top of this building. That's a good idea.
I leap. I soar.
Whoa, okay. The building's a little bouncy. Apparently that's a rubber plant of some kind. Well, let's just go ahead and gut this nerd then. No more of that nonsense. And hopefully that removes all of their vision of the building.
Awaiting orders.
And Steam Fitter in the Kela is, the Kila rather, I think.
We can do this.
Just runs forward. So they said a lot of enemies. They made sure to draw attention to the number of enemies. I'm assuming we're going to be facing more than one lance here. We definitely want to start working on them before they all draw into range, so I'm just going to have Thumper keep sensor leapfrogging the enemies. Okay, it's a Vulcan. It's a pair of Vulcans. Nope, never mind. That's the same... Right, because they get all their dudes in a row because we don't have anybody else on 3. I'm going to have to... It's going to take me a minute to get used to how slow we all are, initiative-wise, at this point. Let's have... We want to just do this. The way this thing is built, it really doesn't have a lot of weapons. It has a flamer with a mean debuff on it. I mean, we could probably just take that AC-2 clean off, right? And then it doesn't have anything but close range? The medium laser's not on that side, but... It does have a CQC suite, which is like, why would you... It's odd to equip an AC-2 on a mech that's designed for close quarters combat, is all I'm thinking. So that's kind of the least close quarters weapon in the game. Alright, let's talk about this. Hey, that seems pretty alright.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Turns out we deal a lot of stability damage in addition to the damage.
You have orders?
And you're not going to be able to hit him with the... Oh no, you totally can hit him with the cannons from there. Well, I guess do it. Well, we won't fire the UAC. Sorry, does he overheat from cold when firing all the weapons? I guess we usually have people in there who have some bonus to their overheat threshold. He might overheat from cold. Not a good pilot for the crab.
Hostile reinforcements.
Oh gee, what a surprise.
Let's get fired up. There's work to do.
Alright, well, the Marauder thing is pretty sustainable at one volley per enemy mech. As long as we can keep it tight like that. I think I'm still primarily concerned about these guys.
Got it. I've got a sensor lock.
Okay, a hatchet man. Which means it has an AC-10. Ow! Oh, interesting! When you stray shot somebody, it removes evasion from the person you accidentally hit as well as the person you aimed at. That's... Not 100% how I expected that to work. It's weird that it removes... I guess I don't understand what the evasion loss was supposed to represent then, because I thought it represented, like, targeting information being shared. In which case... whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So, unfortunately, you have Bulwark up. I suppose the good news is that it doesn't matter too much if you have Bulwark up, as long as we just blow you... Like, you don't have that much health, so we just blow you up. Deal 170 damage center relatively easily. I'm a little worried about... Yeah, I'm actually a little worried about the way the weapons are distributed here. With the hatchet being on one side and 12 SRMs on the other. If we don't get the core pretty quickly here, it becomes actually a pretty dangerous situation. So we just will do that. And again, a knockdown is also a total possibility here. Did I really not even unsteady him? I mean, I know he's entrenched and everything, but still. Do I want to use you yet? Oh yeah, never mind. We're good.
Time to die.
Screw the knockdown. We'll just we'll just kill him.
Did you see that? Did you see it?
She's really enjoying her new toy. I don't blame her. It's a fun toy. And then this guy, I think we'll maybe just tap him with the lasers. I don't know, there's a lot of point in shooting with the LB-20, and I don't want to shoot the UAC at him with that much health. Oh, interesting. They're going to come from all sides, making it impossible to defend all the buildings. Well, I guess I don't have to feel too bad about not taking full cash. We're not going to get all of our multipliers anyway.
I hear ya.
What is the firing range on the mortar again? It's not far. Okay. Because this seems like the direction it might be best to launch it in. The circle might be big enough to hit both of those guys, maybe. Hard to say. Maybe what I want to do is just sprint down the road a little bit, let them group up. Be in a nice high evasion state for a moment here.
Max speed, no shooting.
Alright, Panther. We don't quite get vision on that guy. Alright, that's pretty good. Drawing off some nonsense already. That's a 50-tonner up there, like a real actual enemy. I think our plan over here is probably to close up and potentially get in a fist fight. Start with this. I'm definitely going to have to vent this turn. And he made the foolish mistake of firing instead of defending himself, so... Actually, we can remove both his weapon systems if we hit the right torso. And then, like I'm saying, fist fight, very, very much in my favor.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Yeah, that's a terrible design for a mech, which is really awful. And you can come over here and fight the small guys. So it's just a pair of javelins. These buildings over here have actually a lot of health. Well, that's nice, at least. We're not going to lose anything right away. Oh yeah. Just go straight center.
Roger that. Firing on target. Gotcha.
Man, the Marauder is a way better small mech hunter-killer than the Assassin is. Just raw damage is a big deal. Let's see, that's close enough for the big guns. Which is not necessarily to say that we will be using the big guns from this angle, but like... I guess I'll head down the thing like this. And we will fire the large lasers at... You're a little bit easier to hit. And the Firestarter has closer range weaponry, so yeah. I am less worried about the Firestarter suddenly killing a building.
Fired up. There's work to do.
Alright, we're going to get a little overwhelmed here this turn. Hopefully we've drawn enough attention to keep them from... Oof, okay. It's a good miss. Okay, they're shooting at my mechs now. That's also very good for us. Alright, that is a pair of Panthers.
What can I do for you?
Does the mortar also hit that guy? No, I have to pick. That's a 50-ton. It's less likely to be significantly damaged by the mortar. I think I like that. Let's move you first. AC-10 has pretty decent range. We can afford to be back this far. And let's just drop a mortar on these Panthers because the mortar is neat.
This is gonna be a beautiful kaboom.
Yeah, that's a lot of heat. I didn't realize. I think they maybe were too cautious about the mortar. I get that it's like it's a new effect that probably breaks some design precepts that they had set out, and they were nervous about it for that reason. There really is. Are there 12 mechs now shooting at the buildings? It was literally impossible, I think, for us to prevent that from happening. That's a real shame. That feels pretty crappy.
Engaging physical attack.
Alright, I probably could have not left the small lasers on, to be honest with you there.
Destroyed.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, that feels crummy, that there probably was no chance of us ever being able to save all the buildings. Because, yeah, somewhere over here there are 2 more mechs that are just long-range weaponry. Do I even want to fire... Yeah, I think I want to fire all 3.
Got it.
Just in case one of them goes awry. Odds are not very good that it will happen, but I don't want to leave that thing alive.
How might I help?
So, like, if you can't actually save all the buildings, then it's not a big problem, but it is sort of like imaginary depth to the mission objectives, right? Because, like, it's very unlikely that we are going to lose the mission. It sort of just means that there was only ever actually one outcome, which is where you save some of the buildings, but not all of them.
Target acquired and locked in.
And Steamfitter is really bad at shooting where I tell him to shoot.
Go time.
It's like, they're not going to get that many more buildings. It's very unlikely.
Damage is minor, Commander. on you, Commander.
Okay, no, the heat display was a total bug. Good, because it did not need to be that much weaker. Yeah, we're gonna be able to do some reasonable damage against these Panthers with this weaponry. I think we're not gonna precision strike, we're just gonna... Yeah, okay, that was blindly shoot the PPC arm clean off of him, is what I was about to say, obviously. And at this point, the buildings are kind of irrelevant. Like, we're not really working to save the buildings anymore, because there's almost no chance they'll destroy enough of them for it to matter. Especially given the amount of HP in these buildings, in the amount of time they have left, it's not really a real concern. So it's 2 Wolverines. Yeah, the crab. I was trying to read that Wolverine profile, but alright, let's just zoom over here. Hope Steamfitter's okay with being shot at a lot, because that's kind of the job of the person who drives the crab. So this is a 6R with the AC-5, and this one has a large laser. Okay.
Waiting on you, Commander.
You definitely see why they're still in the water. They benefit very strongly from still being in that water. So we're going to end up running up into a little bit of a situation here. We can coolant vent and unleash the full arsenal on these guys. Neither one of them has any defense, so we could just go for some headshots. We could try to clip some heads. Any 2 of the weapons hitting is lethal? That's not true. If it's both the medium lasers, it's not quite. But I think that's what I'm going to go for.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Wow, I hit 0 of those 35% shots. That's rough. Alright, and your job is just to shoot somebody with as many guns as you can. Which is not very many guns, because you are terrible at managing the heat of your mech.
Of course.
Remember back before we had precision strike all the time?
Critical hit.
We just had to, like, roll the dice and hope that the mech would shoot the parts that you wanted to hit?
We can do this. Let's go.
Oh man, that the fire starter's starting to get into range of buildings. So they only have 2 mechs over on this side that are capable of dealing any real damage now. The Panther still has an SRM-4, but, like, who cares?
I hear ya.
Right, can we get you into a position where you can shoot at the downed enemy with all your guns? Yes, we can.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
Feels like that's the thing I ought to do, then. We can't quite core him. I mean, if we got really lucky and hit him with everything, it still would not be enough. But we can get some good work done in that direction.
All weapons are go.
Okay, yeah, we got him opened up. That's not too bad. I can't believe we hit none of the Marauder's shots. It's very unfortunate.
Waiting for orders.
I mean, obviously I'm going to try again. I hope that goes without saying. Just barely get a single point of evasion here. Turns out as long as I can stand in water, this thing's pretty heat stable.
Got it.
Okay, 1. 1 out of 10 hit. It's just bad luck is all that is. I mean, I'll say this. It's probably pretty terrifying, but there must also be something pretty cool in the feeling of just standing sort of athwart the battlefield and taking the shots from absolutely everybody and surviving it all. I think I'm just going to try to put this guy on his back. Oh, or just do enough damage to kill him. I keep disregarding all of the extremely large amount of damage that this mech deals and thinking about it entirely in terms of stability. But really, like, for real, it's a huge amount of damage.
Let's get fired up. There's work to do.
Okay, just 5 of them left. It's a lot. It's a lot of enemies. And sadly, I don't think anything of value is going to come out of all that priority salvage. I mean, I guess we don't know. There could be some cool weapons,
That hit
potentially.
hard.
You're embarrassing yourself, man.
Waiting for orders.
I do think it's super weird that they never surrender. We probably want to run out to here and just fire into this guy's weak side. Except I can't fire everything. That's a pretty bad weapon to miss with. I guess that could have been a precision strike. Wow, that guy is really dedicated to his mission. He might die for that. I mean, he will die for that. But he could have at least gone down futilely swinging at me instead of futilely swinging at some buildings. He's got to think about his legacy, right? There's no songs and poems about the guy who shot a building. So here's a question. What do I actually want to do with these? Who's headed back this turn, and who's committing to the fight? I guess it'll be the Warhammer. Commits to the fight. We can get the Marauder back to a place where he's doing some better damage. And you could just gut this guy? I mean, sorry, obviously we got a cool infant. If I'm going to fire all these lasers and jump in the same turn, we got to make some allowances here. God, I mean, that is actually a huge amount of damage, though, right?
Good to go.
Alright, you honestly might even, with your jump jets, be able to get into a position to fire a shot next turn? Maybe not next turn, but soon, in the near future. It's fine, you need a little cooldown time anyway. Well, if they're going to keep shooting at me, I'm going to generate small amounts of evasion. And then we're going to precision strike the center, more to knock him down to 2 initiative than anything else. Yeah, I didn't reckon there was much of a chance of that actually working. But this'll give the Thumper a shot on him. Oh hey, apparently I will be able to shoot somebody this turn. Because their Firestarter has close to flamethrower range with these buildings. I have no idea what the physics of that would look like. Because that Firestarter's several stories tall, so it's firing a quantity of what I assume is basically napalm that's hard to even imagine. What must that do to a skyscraper? Honestly, the physics of all of the stuff that happens in BattleTech are suspect, I'm sure. I'm not acquainted well enough with it to even really be able to say how much of this makes any kind of sense. But still, my point is, terrifying. It must be terrifying to be anywhere near any of this, even as the pilot. Alright, let's just try to drill through, right? Yeah, we can do that.
All weapons are go. We can do this. Let's go.
Okay, so as far as weapons go, they have, realistically, they have 1 PPC left over here, and then they have that Firestarter, who is, I think, not going to be a persistent issue.
I hear ya.
My suspicion is that we are going to have a lot to say about this guy right now, right this very second. Although there is a minimum effective range on these AC5s, like I don't really want to be this close. Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Don't need to tell me twice.
I might need to vent again, yeah. Also, I'm just casually destroying smaller buildings on the base. Listen, these are not the buildings that they told me are important. Geez, even from the side, we can direct a majority of shots straight to the center torso.
Firing everything I've got.
The Marauder seems wildly overpowered.
Bang! You're
Maybe we got lucky. Maybe you're not supposed to be able to get a hold of them this early in the campaign, because they really seem like a little too much.
Confirmed.
Alright, I could start firing the LB-20s again. We're not going to get another good UAC shot off, probably. Not without the pilot of the Killa having heat, coolant vent, rather. But this thing does good work. Oh, hey, the mission timer ran out. Right, there's also a mission timer. We only had to defend for a couple of turns, I guess. I kind of forgot about that. I mean, I wish they'd let me finish it. I do so love blowing up the robots. I'll do the rest of the job for free. You pay this much, and I'll take care of the cleanup just out of the goodness of my heart. My huge, terrifying metal heart. Alright, what do we want? Well, we could take some Wolverine pieces, I suppose. Flamer plus plus is not terribly exciting to me. Ooh, okay, plus 4 damage SRM6s, I'll take that. Over these lackluster mech parts, and then I'm assuming, yeah, we're not going to find anything terribly cool down here. So, like, we probably don't actually have both of these Wolverines. Yeah, sure, give me that. They also gave me the piece to complete the Javelin, and the Flamer plus plus, because they heard me say ooh over it. I appreciate that kind of attentiveness to the deal. I'm fairly sure we didn't have that Wolverine yet, so we're working towards something, but this is definitely a job where we could have benefited from just taking the full payment. But man, think about if a Grasshopper had shown up again. So I think the rest of this planet's going to be a little bit harder than that, right? Those two were both 2.5, but I think we're looking at 3s and 3.5s from here. There's a 3.5 and another 2.5. Okay, so there's still some challenge left here. Not that I necessarily think any of these missions are going to be able to blow up our lance by themselves, but over the course of them, we could take enough attrition damage that it could start to add up and matter in a real way. That sounds like a concern for tomorrow, though. Thank you all so much for watching. That is going to be all the time we have for today. Come back next time, tomorrow, like I already said, tomorrow, for probably more abusing forces that are not ready to handle the amount of weight we're able to put on the table. And we'll see you then.